Greetings, my name is Bogdan. I'm a software developer, engineer. I've been coding for 13 years, 13 odd years. All of the time, hands-on experience, like coding and fixing bugs. So I have grown a lot in .NET, and the purpose of this channel is to teach you how to code, how to become a software developer from zero to employed. And let's kick it off. All right, so I'll be showing you on an example. Say a manager has came and gave us, hey, I have a file. You know what? It has some employee data and how much they have earned for each month. And I need to know how much have they earned during the whole year. Please calculate me that. And I'll be like, oh yeah, sure, but and for what time when you need this data? Oh, it's not urgent, but yeah, we need it for yesterday. But don't worry, you do it in all your time. And off he goes. Okay, so this is the file. I'm gonna open a file. What is this file? It's a CSV file. CSV means comma delimited file, comma separated file. You can check that it's comma separated. It's actually semicolon separated. Well, it's also CSV file. What do we have here? We have some tax ID, we have name and last name of an employee, birth date, I don't know, that I don't need. A year, manager didn't tell anything about year, and it has some numbers for each of the months from January to December. So pre-Excel era and pre-computer era, people would actually go and take calculators and sum this number, each row, and then they will come up with a number for each person, and then they will report it back to their manager. That's where computers shine, because no one in their right mind wants to sum up numbers like this, because it's very boring, complete machine work, nothing interesting. So we are software developers. Let's write a program that will do that for us. All right. So in this course, I'll be using Visual Studio. It can be downloaded for free from Microsoft. It's .NET, so Microsoft Visual Studio 2022. Let's create a new project. The project type, let's select console application for now. It will be good. Let's name it. I want to name it. Name it. Employee. Oh, blank. Calculator. We can rename it later. It doesn't work. All right. Next, we choose .NET. It's all good. Defaults are good. Now let's create a project. All right. Yeah. This level likes single line styles. All right. So let's run it. If it does anything. This is Visual Studio. It's a product from Microsoft which helps us to write code. By using it, we will actually write a program. So it runs, it outputs hello world. Okay, whatever. All right, so first thing that I need to do, I need to load this file into memory. So I need to read a file. How do I do that? I don't know. I maybe know, but you know what? It's not always obvious. So what I teach, we learn to Google. Googling is a very important skill of a software developer. Googling and asking right questions to ChatGPT. That's the most things that we actually do. So how would I Google it? C# read file. Read file. Oh, it says read file line by line. Fine by me. And we go Stack Overflow. Blah blah blah. So hard. Oh. So I would scan through this and blah blah blah. Using file read line. Sounds good to me. All right. File read lines. What does it accept? So here I'm starting to use some shortcuts which you need to basically physically memorize with your fingers by heart, make it reflex. So Control space would give me suggestions when I put the cursor near the bracket. I need to supply it with the path. All right, path it is. Where is my file? It is in downloads. I don't want it to be here. Give me something easier. So I'll move it. I'll copy paste it. Open folder in File Explorer. Off we go. Yeah, pretty much. Let's put it in bin debug. Here. So that it is already accessible. Bin debug.net 8. And then here I can put just the relative path. The relative path is just the file name. So I'll put some data CSV. Alright. I want to now check if my line of code works. I actually do it all the time. Let me put it here. So Control space give me suggestions. So read key. Or read whatever. So that my program doesn't. And okay, and I'll put a breakpoint here. Breakpoints are important. And I'll run it in debug mode. You'll see in a minute what it means. Okay, so my program has run in debug mode. So now I can actually see what variables I have. So this lines is called a variable. So I have a result of file read lines. What do we have here? It's something, result view. Okay, let's make it simpler for us. Result and list. This means that we will convert whatever here was to a list of lines. Better, easier to understand. Okay. Okay, so I have a list of lines from 0 to whatever, 100. Yeah, exactly as many as I had there. Great, great, great. So now we need to parse it. How do I parse it? Okay, so to parse it, apparently I need to go through each and every line because my manager asked me to calculate the sum for every employee. Every employee is in a single line, I suspect. So let's do it. All right, so to iterate, we will use for each statement. So there are few options, for and for each. But for each is useful for each, and then I'll tab and tab. So tab fills in with suggestions. IntelliSense in Visual Studio is pretty good. Okay, so I can run it. All right. For each line lines, I now need to parse a line. What does it mean to parse a line? Well, I wanted an object to represent. So I know in my head that this is employee date. Each line represents an employee data. So it is kind of a list or a collection of employees. So C# is object-oriented language. So we will create a class. What does it mean? Class, we will call it employee. Yeah, I'll put a colon here. I'll remove using. Not worry about. Oops. Not worry about this for now. Employee. So what does employee have? Well, it has these properties. Actually, I'll copy paste them from here, and I'll comment them out. Control K C. Commenting out. So I would like to parse it to this kind of an object. And we will see in a moment why, we'll see in a moment and later why it's kind of convenient to have objects. Because without objects and without methods, it will be all a big ball of mud. No one wants to work like that. We want our lives to be easier. I want to get it done quickly and go off and yeah, do something outside of it. Anyway. So first, tax ID. What is tax ID? Judging by the data. No one told me, and it's an offshore. It's an often thing. In software development, you never know what is data type of this, but you can guess later on and verify. Somebody should know. It looks like an integer, a number, right? So I'll put a number. Long is a big integer and has a big range of values. All right, so name is just a string. All right, and last is also just a string, so it already starts to tell me something. It could be useful, it could be not. Non-nullable property name must contain non-nullable value when exiting constructor. Blah blah blah. I consider declaring the property as null. Basically, it asks me to do this. Honestly, I don't like it. I don't like it, so I will just tell it to not give me such suggestions. I don't want to use nullable. All right, no more nullable suggestions. Join date. There is a special data type called datetime. Datetime. Called birth date. And join date as well. All right, and we need what? We need something as year. Year looks like here. Year is, it's just an integer, just a number, smaller number. Integer year, right? And then I need 12 properties with supposedly it is earnings, so some money data. For money, we would like to use size type, the most precise type. It's called January. All right, I need 12 cells. God is bless, copy paste. Control C, Control V. It will be your best friend, believe me. Though try to not overuse it. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay. Good. Right, this is the object one. Now what? Now let's try to, by our hands, to parse the string into this object. How will I do it? At the end of this procedure, I would like to have a list of objects. So I will create, say, this employees. List should be a new list of type employee. Okay, and every employee will be created here. Every line corresponds to employee, so new employee. So we will create employee with which property, and let's add this employees. Add. All right, so how do we do it? We need to, when we look back to the file, it is semicolon separated. So we need to split it by a semicolon. Cheap approach. As a starter, good enough. All right. Split line. And it will be line split, but not by this, but by this. And like this. Okay, I would like to run it now quickly to see if in split lines I'm getting what I expect to get. Split line 18. Great. All right. First one we need to skip. because it contains headers, not real data. So this is called linking operator. We'll look in depth into linking operators later. But what it actually, it does what it says. It keeps the first line. You can quickly check it. And yeah, as you can see now, it's pure data. All right, let's finish this. So that's it, line 0. Okay, what does it say? Cannot implicitly convert string to long. Yeah, so everything that comes from line split is a string, actually. If you want to have it strongly typed. So C# is strongly typed language, which means we cannot just start assigning strings to integers or to longs. Tax ID here is defined as long. We need to convert it to a corresponding type. And one way of doing it is long. All right. Let me just check if that works. And please, it has, yeah, employee, blah blah blah. All but tax ID is great. So a disclaimer: this is not a production way to do it, but it is a way to learn to do it, and later on you will convert it into the way that you actually do it in a production system, or actually do it as a clean way. Yeah? This is a spaghetti code. We will learn more. All right, what do we have next? Name. Go second. Name. Last name. Third. Notice that indexing comes from 0. Name, last name, birth date, join date. Excellent. I love this intelligence. It actually just, as you say, it just suggests me how to convert. So again, string, we cannot assign strings to date times, but with this line, it just allows it to parse. Right, join date, year. Year is integer. Let's see, no, it can't. Integer parse, great. All right, and off we go. So now we start from January to February. January, int parse. I would actually like to test. I suspect those are decimals because January, February, March, April, May, no, May, June, July. As you can see, I'm already doing quite some machine stuff, but there are ways to do it when we learn. We will learn to do it. No, what's this? October, November, and December. All right, let's see if it worked. What do we have in employee? All right, everything seems to be fully great. Excellent, excellent. And if I let it run till the end, my employees, yeah, 108. Come on. Debug is hanging. It couldn't for some reason, but now it can. It happens. All right, this is all good. All right, what was the task again? I needed to have some. All right, so how do I do it? How do I do it? I would then put a sum. Where do I sum it? I think we could sum it here. So we will create a method here called, it will be a decimal that will sum up things. Age, yearly. Okay, method. So method should return something. Let's start compiling. What do we actually want to do? We want to sum up January plus February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. All right. And I need to give something back to my boss. He won't be looking in debug mode at this application, right? It will be like, you're like, what? What do you mean? I need a sum. So here I'm trying to get sum. Okay, so let's see if we can call the get sum YearlySum method. How can I do it? Actually, I can do it in this window called watch. Here, I can put my variable employees. Okay, and I can take the first from it. Now it's a single first employee that was there. Okay, and I can actually call it even here. Get yearly, and it says that it's a method, but I need to put braces. Off we go. Sounds legit. Okay, so my method sum works, YearlySum. What I would actually like to do also, I want to put it somewhere in a file. Yeah, why not? So how do I do it? There is a reason why I split, so let's do it in a separate loop. For each every employee, I would like to write to a file. What does file? I could Google, but I can also Google and just write all once. Pass and a line of contents. Okay. So I'll write one. Output one. List of strings. And in the end, I will write one to it, which I'll give back to my manager. Output lines. This output lines. First is string path, second is content. Lines is content. So this is the file output file name, and I'll call it result. It will be a CSV file. All right. So what I actually want to do for every employee that I have parsed, I want to output his tax ID and his yearly sum. So let's do it. This is employee. Let's create a string. So the string will be line. Line is not a string, but a string. Right? So I can do it $, and it's called interpolated string. Now in this bracer, I can directly put the one to put tax ID, semicolon, because it will be in my CSV file, and employee yearly sum, and I need okay. Lines, add line. I think we are good to go. All right, it has finished. Well, and we have a result. Now it's some data. Oh, now it loaded. Yeah, it doesn't have headers, does it? Let's make it a little bit nicer. It won't pay me otherwise. Don't save it. Need right. So headers. Yeah, I would just put outlines first line. This is the way to edit. And what is tax ID, and then is YearlySum. All right, off we go. I guess we don't this one anymore. Wow. Great. Result. Excellent. Toxicity and YearlySum. Right. It would be a shame to lose this nice project. So let's do one last thing before wrapping up. Let's create a Git repository. So Git repository is a place where you will save your code. It has excellent features. You should always be using it. Otherwise, you will lose it. Just put it into the Git. All right. We'll create a new Git repository. I'm connected to GitHub. You will need to create a GitHub account if you don't have one, and you will have to add it here. Like add another account, but you can see I have my GitHub account, Bogdan Hrycko. All right, get Git repository, owner, employee calculator, description we can put, private repository. I want to make it public for everyone. So you can check this code actually. But if you want to learn to program, you have to write it down with your own fingers, your blood, sweat, and tears. Practice all of this. All right, create and push. Create and push. All right, so it has now created a Git repository for me with one main branch. It's called master branch, and it's in local. All right. Get project path, and now it's in Git. Check it. GitHub. What's this? Employee calculator. So as you can see, here we have files, but not the CSV file, which is important. We don't want to push public data that given by clients to the GitHub. Okay, I hope you enjoyed these lessons, and well, we will be much more to come. First of all, we will start using external libraries. No one wants to parse the CSV files with their hands. Yeah. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.